Hey everybody, and welcome back to Greasy Boy Customs. Today, we're back on the Bronco. We're going to be doing the Gearbox, Borgeson, however you say that. We're doing that gearbox. We're going to get that on, so we have it in place, and then we're going to worry about getting our motor set exactly where we need before we weld in our motor mounts. All right, to clarify the situation, old gearbox, new gearbox. Old gearbox, new gearbox. Now, why are... Well, it's pretty simple. The new gearbox is better, stronger, faster, prettier. And we have it, so we're going to put it on. Also, the other main reason is the factory gearbox does not do so hot with oversized tires. And we're going to be putting 35s on here, so we're going to upgrade. We've already got a fancy new power steering pump. Might as well have a fancy new gearbox. Let's start by removing the old one. All right, here's our old unit and the new unit. Obviously, the pitman arm is still on here. Instant differences you're going to notice. 3 bolts, 4 bolts. Now, you could probably just use these 3 bolts, or you could drill a hole through the frame and do the 4th. We'll make a decision at some point. The overall shape and design is almost identical. However, the overall length from the backside to this flange, the new one is almost right at 1 inch shorter, which is great because limited on space. Your 2 lines are here, whereas these 2 lines are angled the opposite direction, but that really doesn't matter because it's a custom application. We're going to be making new lines. So let's go ahead and get this one fitted up on the frame, make sure it lines up. Now the kit does come with new hardware, so we're going to use that to mock it up and make sure it fits. Which I really hope it does. Oh my goodness. God, this thing is heavy. Okay. All right, let's see here. Oh, I guess I had that bolt out of the way. Kind of wiggle it around. All right. Looks like the holes are going to line up. Well, now that we got it ground out, the box is sitting here. That's because there's so much mud and dirt and grease built up right here from something leaking that it's not allowing the box to sit down. So, let's finish grinding this out. Ta-da! It fits. We just had to shave a little bit off that top bolt right there, where there's no bolt, that hole. Just a little bit off there, and clean out that crud. And looky there. Now keep in mind, the engine is loose. It's not in place yet. I wanted to get this in place. We decided to change the motor mounts. So we had BC Bronco mounts on there. But as we started getting other parts, we realized that every time we called, they're like, oh yeah, you have BC Bronco mounts? No, our stuff doesn't work with those. So we had to change. Luckily, the same guys that we got the oil pan and the headers from make a universal weld-in mount system, so we're going to put that in. The only thing left we have to do on the gearbox situation is I need to make sure that this pitman arm is going to be the same. So we're going to remove the pitman arm. Okay. Now this nut is about 1.25 inches, I think. I'm just too lazy to go get my big sockets out. It came off pretty easy. They usually don't come off this easy, which means somebody's probably been messing with it and they didn't hammer it back on with an impact. If you've never pulled a pitman arm off before, this tool works most of the time, so we're going to see if it works in this application as well. Okay, so we don't need the pitman arm puller. Definitely make sure you pay attention to which way your pitman arm was facing. Obviously hook it up this way, bad things are going to happen. So okay, good lord, how many threads are on this damn thing? Alright, slide your grease boot up. We're gonna just slide this on here. It's not lined up right now. We just want to make sure that the splines are the same and it's gonna work. Hey, and wouldn't you know that everything's the same? That's good, that's good. Alright, Now we can move on to our next task. Now our next task is going to be sorting out these motor mounts. Before we can do that, we need to cut the old ones out of the way. Then we need to get our engine positioned where we want, start fiddling around with the new mounts and see if we can go ahead and lock it in place. We're also going to need to take into account the hood. Now, from what I've seen, reading around online, there's several different ways people do this. Some people notch the hood out, some people cut the bracing out of the inside of the hood, and some people will try to lower the engine as much as possible to not alter the bracing in the hood. We would like to try to not alter the bracing in the hood. So we're going to get the old motor mounts cut off the frame, and then we're going to set the engine where we want it and make sure everything's where it's supposed to be, and then we're going to test fit with the hood to make sure that it'll work. Let's get the plasma out. And as you can see, the mounts are now missing and out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and get our new mounts out, get them bolted to the block, and then we'll start moving this big boy around where it needs to be. Well, now that we've got the main part of the original motor mounts cut out, we need to take a couple more preparatory steps before we can just start welding in these mounts. One of those things is this frame needs to be leveled out. We can't just rely on this old wore-out suspension to be perfectly straight and level. So we'll jack the vehicle up and support the frame with jack stands and make sure everything is level. Also, this is going to keep it from moving around while we're trying to position the motor. Then we're going to clean the rest of this garbage off the frame from where we cut the mounts off, get the mounts bolted onto the engine, and then we'll get it level and set where we need it to go, make sure the hood fits. Now if we take a look here over at the motor mounts, you can see that the engine side motor mount is already powder coated with that same hammer finish to match our oil pan. The frame side motor mounts are unwelded because they may be painted or powder coated depending on your application. The holes that are drilled for the mounting surface are oblong and leave play in both directions so you can move your mounts around. As we mentioned, now that the engine is where we need it, we've got clearance on both sides for our exhaust, everything's good. We need to make the power steering pump fit, and because we're setting the engine so low, got into the frame rail, so we cut it out and we plated it up in there, and we got to finish cleaning it up and do the final welding on it later. And then our gearbox is still going to go here, but we're actually going to space it over a little bit, and everything should be fine. Well, and as you can see behind me, we've stuck the driver's side inner fender in place. Let's go in and take a little bit closer look on what we're going to do with these inner fenders. So as you can see, while it does clear, we have another little problem. So our steering column is coming out of that hole back there. And obviously the gearbox is going to be down here, and that doesn't leave us a very clear path for routing our steering shaft. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut this out a little bit. We're going to leave the top for now and the front and back, and we're going to eliminate the side and probably make some custom panels for the side. Same thing over here on the passenger side. The passenger side inner fender does not have all the cutouts that the driver's side does, and it's a little bit tight. I can't even actually get it into place. And welcome to the body removal extravaganza. I have no idea how this is going to go. It's either going to go swimmingly or it's going to fail epically. But join me. Let me show you what we got going on so far. So we have been able to figure out a good way to do the rear. We've got this nice bar across here, and we're going to use these bolts, and obviously we've got it braced up a little bit. Chain, that'll pick it up just fine. The front, however, is a completely different story because we need somewhere solid to lift it up, and I don't want to lift it up by the radiator support. So we're going to find somewhere around the cowl to lift it up. Now in the future, when this body is painted and it goes on for the last time, we will not be doing it this way. We'll be using our friend's 2-post lift to do it safely. But until then, it's time to get sketchy. So we've got the Body and chassis separated now. The engine is out. We've got it stored out of the way. We have a lot of work to do to this chassis. We have to fix the horns on the front and the rear. We also have some more welding to do where we made our pocket. And we're going to clean up some of the factory welds as well. We also made a cart for the body. Look at that. Pretty snazzy, right? Simple 2x4 construction. We've got casters at the front and rear. However, I do want to put some third set of casters in the middle because it is a bow a little bit. These are 12 feet long, so that's a lot of flex that's going on. So we're going to reduce some of that flex. Again, I am no carpenter. This is not nice, but it works. And when we're talking about cleaning up some of the factory welds, you can see that, you know, like these welds where your leaf spring brackets are fine. And then that, you know, it's no good. And then, you know, even here with some of these things, you know, these just don't look nice. You're going to see this frame. Once this truck gets a body lift and a suspension lift and the frame gets powder coated and the body's painted, you don't want to like walk up to it and see these boogered up nasty welds. Don't get me wrong, structurally, they're fine. It's worked since 1977. It's not going to fail anytime soon. However, we're just going to take that extra step to make it look a little bit nicer. So in the next video on the Bronco, what we're likely going to see here is finishing the sheet metal work on the body, and then we're also going to be stripping this chassis. We're going to be cleaning it up, doing those welds we talked about. We're also going to be tearing down the suspension and axles. And once it comes back from sandblast and powder coat, we're going to be reassembling it with the suspension lift kit. We're going to be reinstalling the engine, reinstalling the body, and we're going to be finalizing everything else before it gets ready for paint and interior. Now that sounds like a quick process, but it is not. We're going to be running wiring and fuel tanks and lines and brake lines and all that kind of stuff to make sure everything is good to go. Ideally, when you build something like this, you want to completely build it and then blow it all back apart, paint everything, clean it all up. We're doing it a little bit out of order with the chassis getting powder coated and stuff first, but it's not a big deal. It's going to work just fine. It worked out with scheduling. I'm okay with it. Also, when welding, sometimes your shirts, look at that. This is now a welding shirt. At least I didn't catch on fire. Till next time, happy hot rodding.